Have you ever wondered how a goddess could change the entire fate of a family? In this story, a goddess intervenes in the fate of Jacob's family and changes everything. This intervention might be the key to resolving a family crisis. Let's explore together. Will this goddess bring blessings or challenges to Jacob's family? Let's find out in this video. Stay tuned to learn more about this dramatic intervention. The story of Jacob is one of the greatest in the Bible. He is the son of Isaac and the grandson of Abraham. Jacob was a special man, chosen to bring salvation to the people of Israel. But even though he was chosen by God, his life wasn't always easy. One of Jacob's greatest struggles was having children, especially when Leah bore him many children. But Rachel, his wife, could not conceive. Rachel was in pain because she could not conceive, and in her despair, she sought another solution. They turned to the goddess of fertility, hoping she would grant them blessings and help them bear children. This goddess, in ancient cultures, was worshipped for her ability to give children, something Jacob's family deeply desired. Both Rachel and Leah prayed to the goddess, but no one knew if her intervention could change their fate. The goddess's intervention would change everything, and Jacob's family would never be the same again. But will the goddess truly help Jacob's family overcome these challenges? Stay tuned to find out. Let's continue this dramatic story and explore the impact of the goddess on Jacob's family. Though faced with many challenges, Jacob's family maintained their faith in God and their hope for change. Leah, Jacob's wife, had borne many sons, but Jacob's heart always yearned for Rachel, his beloved wife. Rachel saw Leah's joy and felt the loneliness of not being able to bear children. In her desperation, Rachel prayed to God and even sought other ways to have children. She turned to the goddess of fertility, asking her to bless her with a child, just as Leah had been blessed. Rachel participated in the rituals to show her devotion, hoping the goddess would answer her prayers. Leah noticed a change in Rachel, and between the two wives, an invisible rivalry began to grow. One day, Rachel noticed strange signs of change she had longed for. Rachel ran to tell Jacob, and joy and hope returned to their hearts. Jacob felt that his faith in the goddess's intervention had been rewarded. In the dark of night, a star shone brightly as a sign that Jacob's family was about to undergo a great change. Rachel knew that change had begun, and the child she had longed for would finally come. After years of suffering, Jacob's family finally had a reason to celebrate. The goddess of fertility had heard their prayers, and now change was happening in their lives. Rachel felt the new life growing inside her, an immeasurable joy. With the goddess's intervention, everything changed, and Jacob's family would never be the same again. However, the goddess's intervention was just the beginning, and new challenges awaited Jacob's family. Rachel sat beside Jacob, their eyes full of hope and love. She felt the life growing within her, and with each passing day, she became more connected to the child growing inside her. Leah, though she had borne many sons, couldn't help but feel the rivalry between herself and Rachel growing more intense. Rachel looked at Leah, but this time, it wasn't rivalry. She felt the empathy and unity that the family needed. Time passed, and spring arrived. This marked a new season in the life of Rachel and Jacob's family. Rachel felt stronger than ever. Hope was no longer a distant dream, but a reality that was within reach. Everyone in Jacob's family, from Leah to the sons, was preparing to welcome the new child into the family. Jacob prayed with gratitude, thanking God for giving them new hope and new life. A star shone brightly in the sky, as a sign that the miracle Jacob's family had been waiting for was about to happen. Rachel felt at peace, and in her heart, joy was overflowing. A joyful news came to Jacob. Rachel was about to give birth. This brought immense happiness to the family. The whole family gathered, preparing to welcome the new child with faith in a bright future. Light rain fell, as if heaven itself was blessing Jacob's family. Rachel felt the birth pains drawing near, but she was no longer afraid, knowing that God and the goddess were by her side. At last, the child Rachel had longed for was born. Jacob's family welcomed a new hope. Rachel looked at the child in her arms, feeling as though she had overcome all the hardships she had faced before. Jacob's family was now more complete than ever, with the birth of the child and the new hope. Under the starry sky, Jacob's family felt the protection of God and the goddess as a blessing for their future. Jacob's family erupted in joy. Finally, they received the precious gift they had waited for so long. Rachel held the newborn in her arms, happiness filling her heart. Leah saw Rachel's love and joy for the child, but inside, she sensed a difficult change. Everyone gathered together for a warm dinner, feeling the bond and love between them. Under the night sky, a bright star shone down, like a sign of protection and blessing. Jacob's family life continued, filled with joy and new hope. Leah's sons, though there were many siblings, remained close-knit and affectionate with each other. Jacob felt content, knowing his family was complete, and he felt the protection of God and the goddess. Rachel, as a devoted mother, cared for the child with all her love and attention. Jacob and Rachel sat together, talking about the future of their children, what they hoped their children would become. Leah looked at Rachel, not just as a wife and mother, but as a woman who had fought for and claimed happiness for the family. The children grew up in a family full of love, hope, and support from everyone. Rachel looked at her child with a glowing smile, knowing that her life had changed forever. Jacob and Rachel stood together, looking toward the future, where their family would continue to journey together. A new day began, and with it, Jacob's family knew they could face any challenge ahead. Jacob's family, now stronger and more united than ever, began a new chapter in their lives. Under the light of faith, Jacob's family walked together, stronger and more resilient than ever. With the protection of God and the goddess, Jacob's family knew that the road ahead would be filled with hope and blessings. The new sunlight brought new life, like the beginning of a new chapter in Jacob's family's life. Jacob and Rachel stood together, watching the sunrise, with the belief that life would be filled with hope and good things. Jacob's family, despite the many challenges they faced, always held firm in their faith in God and the values of family. Leah's children could now play freely in a peaceful space where there was no rivalry, but love and harmony. Rachel felt peace in her heart as she realized that her faith and patience had finally borne fruit. The children, born in difficult circumstances, still felt the bond and love among them. Jacob looked at his child with pride and boundless love. This was the result of persistence and faith. The sky seemed to brighten, reflecting the changes in Jacob's family, a complete transformation. Each new day brought a new opportunity, and Jacob's family was ready to face the next challenges with unwavering faith. The entire family of Jacob, from father to children, worked hard and loved each other, building a bright future together. Rachel felt an overwhelming happiness as she looked at her child, knowing it was a precious gift from God. Jacob's family, despite facing many storms, had finally walked together, stronger than ever before. The children of Rachel and Leah now had learned how to live in harmony and love each other. Rachel and Jacob talked together under the light of the lantern, sharing their dreams and hopes for their children, hoping they would grow into strong and respected individuals. Jacob's family gathered around the dinner table, sharing joy and love with each other. As the children slept peacefully, Jacob's family felt complete happiness, a full and joyful family. In Jacob's house, light and joy filled the space, reflecting the strength and unity of the family. Under the light of a new day, Jacob's family moved forward, with unwavering faith that they would overcome any challenges ahead. The atmosphere in the family suddenly changed, like a warning for the challenges ahead. Rachel felt a sudden pain, a hurt not only physical, but also in her heart. Jacob saw Rachel in pain. His heart raced with worry. He quickly ran to seek help. Leah quietly prayed, hoping that God would grant them a miracle, a salvation for Rachel and her child. The sky seemed to reflect the anxiety in Jacob's heart and the hearts of his family members. Rachel, though facing excruciating pain, held a firm belief in her eyes. She trusted that God and the goddess would not forsake her. Each member of Jacob's family stood still, eyes fixed on Rachel, waiting for a miracle. The children felt the tension in the air, but they didn't understand why everyone was so worried. Leah could not hold back her tears as she saw her sister in pain. She prayed quietly for a miracle, for new life. Rachel forced a smile, but the pain was undeniable. She knew this was the greatest trial of her life. Jacob's family knelt, praying with all their hearts, hoping for salvation and blessings. Rachel gasped for air, but suddenly, everything began to calm down. She felt an unusual strength spreading through her body. Finally, the child was born, bringing a wave of hope and new joy to Jacob's family. Rachel looked at her newborn, her smile a sign of victory. Her persistence had been rewarded. Everyone in Jacob's family gathered around Rachel, thanking God and the goddess for granting them a miracle. The sunlight shone down on Jacob's family like a sign of peace and the protection of God and the goddess. Jacob's family reunited, hand in hand, moving forward together, knowing they had overcome the greatest trial of their lives. Under the bright sky, Jacob's family moved forward with faith in a hopeful future. Jacob's family, having finally overcome the trial, moved toward the horizon, where promise and brightness awaited them. The newborn child brought renewal and hope, a symbol of new life in Jacob's family. Jacob's family stood together, looking towards the horizon, believing that the future would be brighter than ever. Rachel held her newborn in her arms, feeling boundless love and new hope from her child. The whole family sat together around the meal, sharing joy and happiness, feeling peace and unity. The children of Rachel and Leah had now learned to love and care for each other, with no more rivalry between them. Jacob's family walked together under the sunlight, feeling the strength of love and faith in the future. Jacob looked toward the sunset, his heart filled with peace as he saw his family had overcome all the hardships. Every night, Jacob's family gathered around the fire, sharing stories of the tough days and new hopes. Jacob and Rachel looked at their children, their hearts filled with hope that they would have a better life. Jacob's family held a Thanksgiving ceremony, thanking God and the goddess for granting them life and peace. Under the starry sky, Jacob's family felt the protection of God and the goddess, as if the entire universe was guarding them. Jacob's family stood on top of a hill, looking into the distance, believing in the future and the good things to come. From here, Jacob's family was no longer just a group of people, but a solid unit, bound together by love and faith. Under the light of the sunrise, Jacob's family walked together, knowing they would remain strong no matter the challenges. Jacob's entire family stood united, hand in hand, ready to face whatever life would bring. With faith and hope, Jacob's family moved forward, greeting a bright future full of love. Under the clear sky, Jacob's family walked together, no longer afraid, no longer worried. Jacob's family moved forward with the strength of love and faith, ready to conquer every challenge ahead. Under the sunlight, Jacob's family stood strong, a new beginning for a life full of hope. From this moment, Jacob's family was not just a family, but a strong community, standing firm against all trials. Jacob's family, hand in hand, walked along the rugged path, but with firm faith in the future. Rachel looked at her child, her heart filled with pride and happiness for having overcome the trial with her family. All worries were gone. Jacob's family now lived in joy, love, and peace. Jacob's family sat together around the meal, thanking God and the goddess for granting them strength and life. The light of the dawn was like a sign of renewal, a hopeful beginning for Jacob's family. Jacob's family entered a new area, ready for a new life, where they would reap the fruits of perseverance and faith. Jacob's children, though young, had learned valuable lessons from their parents, growing strong and full of kindness. Jacob and Rachel looked at each other, feeling deep love and gratitude for what they had overcome. Every day, Jacob's family grew closer, living in joy and harmony, feeling the protection and boundless love. Jacob stood on the hilltop, looking toward the sunset, knowing that his family had overcome the greatest challenges, and now they were stepping into a promising future. Under the light of the dawn, Jacob's family walked together, ready to face every challenge ahead, knowing that love and faith would always guide them. Jacob's family felt the overwhelming peace, the protection of God and the goddess always by their side. Jacob's family sat down to the meal, sharing joy and gratitude for overcoming all trials together. Jacob's family continued their journey with firm faith that they would always stand strong, never giving up. Under the light of faith, Jacob's family moved forward, knowing that a hopeful future awaited them. With faith and determination, Jacob's family continued their journey, ready to face every challenge ahead. A new chapter begins, and Jacob's family walks forward with the belief that good things are coming. Jacob's family looked toward the horizon, where the light of dawn promised a bright and hopeful future. They walked through lush fields under the clear sky, feeling the peace and protection from above. Jacob looked back at his family, his heart filled with happiness, for they had overcome every difficulty and trial. Jacob's family held hands. Nothing could tear them apart, for they had learned the strength of unity and love. The light shone down from the distant sky like a sign of hope, guiding Jacob's family forward. Jacob's family entered the new land with the belief that this would be the place where they would build their future, a future full of hope. Rachel held her child in her arms, looking at Jacob, feeling the strong unity and love within their family. The whole family stopped by the stream, resting and enjoying the peace of nature, feeling love and protection. Jacob looked toward the sunset, feeling peace in his heart, knowing that his family had found tranquility. Jacob's family continued their journey, walking strong under the fading light, yet their belief in the future never dimmed. Jacob's family looked at each other, determined to keep moving, never giving up, no matter what challenges might come. Jacob's family stood together under the starry sky, feeling the boundless protection and love from God and the goddess. Though the darkness covered them, Jacob's family continued forward with a faith that nothing could shake. And so Jacob's family entered a new era with shining faith and hope, ready to face the challenges ahead. Jacob's family sat down to a meal, sharing stories and joyful moments, with no more worries. Jacob looked at his children, his eyes filled with pride and deep love. Rachel sat beside Jacob, hand in hand, feeling the peace they had built together. Jacob's children played joyfully, growing up in the love and protection of their family. Although the road ahead was still full of challenges, Jacob's family was confident in the future and the guidance of faith. Jacob and Rachel stood together, looking toward the horizon, where the future was unfolding before them. Jacob knelt in prayer, offering thanks for his family's blessings from God and the goddess. They walked through a field of flowers, a symbol of renewal and new life that Jacob's family was experiencing. Jacob taught his children about the value of faith, patience, and love, lessons they would carry with them for life. This time, Jacob's family moved forward with joy in their hearts, knowing that they had overcome the trials and were now living in peace. Everything had been renewed, and Jacob's family now felt the boundless protection and love. Jacob looked at his children, his eyes full of hope for a bright future where they would carry on the family values. The road ahead would not be easy, but Jacob's family knew they would overcome everything because they had boundless faith and love. Stopping on a hill, Jacob's family looked toward the horizon where they knew a promising future awaited them. Jacob's family gathered together, giving thanks for the blessings they had received and wishing each other a bright future. A new journey began, and Jacob's family continued forward with firm faith and full hope. Rachel looked toward the sky, knowing that everything had been blessed by God and the goddess, and her family would live in peace. Jacob's family continued their journey, hope overflowing in their hearts, knowing that love and faith would always guide them. Under the starry sky, Jacob's family moved toward the future with unshakable faith in God and the goddess's protection. Jacob, Rachel, and their children stood together, looking ahead, no longer afraid, only filled with faith and hope. And so, Jacob's family continued, stepping into a new dawn, where everything had been reborn and started anew. Jacob's family continued walking under the early morning sky, feeling peace in their hearts, like a blessing for their journey. Jacob's children, with joy in their eyes, ran around their parents, surrounded by love and protection. Jacob stopped and looked at his children and wife, his heart full of pride, realizing that family was the greatest protection. Jacob's family looked toward the distance, where new light was dawning, signaling a future full of hope. Jacob and Rachel held hands, their eyes filled with love and understanding, having overcome many challenges to be together. Jacob's family walked through a vast land, fertile and abundant, as a sign of prosperity and growth. Jacob's children helped each other, showing the love and unity that their family had taught them. Jacob's family arrived at a new village, where the people greeted them warmly, welcoming them as part of the new community. In the new village, Jacob's family began to rebuild their lives together, with the belief that everything would become better. Jacob's family gathered in their new home, exchanging prayers and blessings for prosperity and happiness. Jacob and Rachel stood by the window, looking at the starry sky, feeling peace and knowing they had found eternal protection. Jacob's family continued walking along the trail through the lush forest, a symbol of growth and enduring strength. Jacob's children played under the sunshine, happy in the protection and love of their family. The whole family stopped by the riverbank, sharing stories and precious memories they had created together. Jacob's family looked toward the horizon, where the morning light illuminated the path ahead, full of hope and faith. Jacob knelt in prayer, offering gratitude for the blessings his family had received throughout their journey. Under the dawn light, Jacob's family stood together, believing that a bright and promising future awaited them. Jacob's family continued walking on the new path, carrying with them the faith and hope that they would always be protected and guided. A new day began, and Jacob's family stepped into it with light hearts, knowing that every challenge had been overcome. Jacob's family stopped by an ancient tree, feeling the peace and stability they had found together. They looked toward the distance, where the sun was setting, knowing that a new cycle was beginning, and their journey would continue. Jacob's family continued along the trail, sheltered by the trees, as a testament to their protection and care. Jacob's family chatted and laughed together, joy and peace filling the air around them. Jacob stood with his son, looking out over the lush fields, realizing that growth and prosperity were what his family had overcome. Jacob and Rachel sat by the riverbank, hand in hand, reflecting on the long journey and the challenges they had overcome. Jacob's family moved toward a new village, where the warm light from the houses shone out, welcoming them as part of the new community. Jacob saw his children playing in the new village, their laughter echoing, a symbol of a bright future. In the village church, Jacob's family prayed together, giving thanks for all the blessings they had received. Jacob and Rachel looked at each other, their eyes filled with love, witnessing what they had built together. Jacob's family gathered around for dinner under the flickering firelight, enjoying simple meals, but filled with love. Jacob stood alone, gazing at the starry sky, feeling the peace and protection that God and the goddess had bestowed upon his family. Jacob's family looked ahead, where the light of tomorrow was beginning to shine, with the belief that the future would always be bright. Jacob's family continued to walk steadily on the new path, with faith and love as their strength. Jacob's children played under the sunset light, their laughter and joy echoing in the space around them. Jacob and Rachel sat together, hand in hand, looking ahead with unwavering faith in the future of their family. Jacob's family stood together, watching the sunrise, as a sign of rebirth and new opportunities. Jacob's family looked toward the distance, where towering mountains rose up as a symbol of strength and perseverance. Under the bright moon, Jacob's family prayed together, offering wishes for a bright future. Jacob's family continued their journey, greeting a new day with steady faith and hope. Jacob's family walked under the warm sunlight, a statement that they had overcome all challenges. Jacob's family looked at each other, their eyes filled with faith in the future, in the good things that were to come. They continued their journey, walking steadily together, with faith and love as their guiding strength. Jacob's family stood together, sharing faith and hope for a bright future. They continued walking the path, never giving up, with unwavering belief in God's protection and guidance. Jacob's family looked at each other, their eyes full of affection and gratitude for all they had been through and received. The morning light shone on Jacob's family as a sign of new beginnings, a rebirth. Jacob's family continued walking, their hearts filled with hope for the future. Jacob's family started building a new home, beginning a new chapter of their lives. Jacob's family stood looking toward the horizon, where bright light was dawning, a promise of a hopeful future. Jacob's family held hands, walking together on the new path, full of hope and faith in a bright future. Jacob's family continued their new life in the village, free from worry. Only joy and peace remained. Jacob stood looking at the lush fields, feeling the abundance that God and the goddess had granted his family. Jacob's children played by the stream, laughing joyfully, showing the complete happiness of the family. Jacob and Rachel sat together, reflecting on the challenges they had overcome and the blessings their family had received. During a Thanksgiving ceremony, Jacob's family joined the community in prayer, giving thanks for Jacob worked with his son in the fields, building a new livelihood for the family, preparing for a bright future. Jacob's family stood together, looking at their new home, where they would build a happy and fulfilling life. Jacob's family joined the village festival, feeling the joy of the community and the strong connection between its members. Jacob stood alone, looking toward the horizon, feeling the peace and faith in the future of his family. Jacob and his children worked together in the garden, each day passing with joy and harmony in the family. Rachel stood by the window, reflecting on the long journey they had traveled, realizing that every challenge was a valuable lesson. Jacob's family gathered around the dinner table, sharing stories, joy, and feelings about a life full of meaning. Jacob and Rachel stood together, looking toward the future, no longer fearing, but only having faith in the good things to come. Jacob's family continued to move forward, resilient and strong, despite all the challenges of the past. Rachel saw the flowers blooming in the garden, a symbol of new life and overflowing hope. Jacob's family continued to tend to the garden, building a happy home together. Jacob looked toward the distant mountains, feeling the peace and protection that God and the goddess had bestowed upon his family. Jacob's family sat together, sharing a meal, feeling the love and unity among the members. Jacob looked into his children's eyes, pride and hope overflowing in his heart. Jacob's family stood together, facing the future, no longer worried, only with firm faith. Jacob's children played under the sunset, joy filling every step they took. Jacob and Rachel stood together, looking toward the evening sky, knowing that their family had overcome all difficulties. Jacob's family continued their new life in joy and peace, sheltered by faith and love. Jacob's family celebrated joyfully at the feast, affirming their love and unity. Jacob's family continued to work hard, building a foundation for a lasting future. Jacob looked at his son, a content smile on his face as he saw his son growing up. Rachel and the daughters worked together in the garden, sharing joy in their work and life. Jacob's family gathered under the old tree, sharing stories, keeping the family traditions alive. Jacob and Rachel walked together in the garden, feeling peace and happiness by each other's side. Jacob's family cared for the animals on the farm, showing love and attention to every small detail of life. Jacob's family stood looking up at the starry night sky, feeling the vastness of the universe and their firm faith in the future. Jacob prayed alone in the quiet of the night, thanking God and the goddess for guiding his family through every challenge. Jacob's family exchanged warm hugs, expressing their love and the strong bond between them. Jacob and Rachel stood together, looking toward the horizon, knowing they had overcome challenges and were stepping into a new phase of life. Jacob's family prepared for a grand celebration, an occasion to give thanks and remember all they had been through. Jacob received blessings from the village elders, feeling happiness and peace as he saw the connection between generations. Jacob's family took part in a Thanksgiving ceremony, singing hymns and praying together for peace and prosperity. Jacob's children learned how to care for the garden, continuing what he had started, bringing life and hope. Jacob's family stood together, facing a bright future, filled with faith in God and the goddess's guidance. Jacob's family sat together, enjoying a meal in peace, realizing that happiness comes from unity. Rachel sat by the window, reflecting on what had passed, knowing they had overcome challenges through faith and love. Jacob and Rachel watched their children grow up with pride and hope for a bright future. Jacob's family worked in the fields at dawn, starting a new day with strength and firm faith. Rachel held Jacob's hand, smiling, looking toward a future full of hope and love. Jacob's family worked together to tidy the house, not only creating a clean space, but also creating a warm home. Jacob prayed by the small altar in the house, thanking God and the goddess, asking for peace and prosperity for his family. Jacob's family hosted a festival, everyone laughing and having fun, creating unforgettable memories. Jacob sat with his children around the campfire at night, telling family stories, strengthening the family bond. Jacob's family looked up at the starry sky, feeling the vastness of the universe and the smallness of humanity before it. Jacob held Rachel's hand, walking on a new path, knowing that love and faith were the strength that helped them overcome any challenge. Jacob's family sat gathered in their cozy home, the warm golden light enveloping the space, symbolizing peace and happiness. Jacob worked with his son in the fields, building a new livelihood for the family, preparing for a bright future. Jacob's family stood together, looking at their new home, where they would build a happy and fulfilling life. Jacob's family joined the village festival, feeling the joy of the community and the strong connection between its members. Jacob stood alone, looking toward the horizon, feeling the peace and faith in the future of his family. Jacob and his children worked together in the garden, each day passing with joy and harmony in the family. Rachel stood by the window, reflecting on the long journey they had traveled, realizing that every challenge was a valuable lesson. Jacob's family gathered around the dinner table, sharing stories, joy, and feelings about a life full of meaning. Jacob and Rachel stood together, looking toward the future, no longer fearing, but only having faith in the good things to come. Jacob's family continued to move forward, resilient and strong, despite all the challenges of the past. Rachel saw the flowers blooming in the garden, a symbol of new life and overflowing hope. Jacob's family continued to tend to the garden, building a happy home together. Jacob looked toward the distant mountains, feeling the peace and protection that God and the goddess had bestowed upon his family. Jacob's family sat together, sharing a meal, feeling the love and unity among the members. Jacob looked into his children's eyes, pride and hope overflowing in his heart. Jacob's family stood together, facing the future, no longer worried, only with firm faith. Jacob's children played under the sunset, joy filling every step they took. Jacob and Rachel stood together, looking toward the evening sky, knowing that their family had overcome all difficulties. Jacob's family continued their new life in joy and peace, sheltered by faith and love. Jacob's family celebrated joyfully at the feast, affirming their love and unity. Jacob's family continued to work hard, building a foundation for a lasting future. Jacob looked at his son, a content smile on his face as he saw his son growing up. Rachel and the daughters worked together in the garden, sharing joy in their work and life. Jacob's family gathered under the old tree, sharing stories, keeping the family traditions alive. Jacob and Rachel walked together in the garden, feeling peace and happiness by each other's side. Jacob's family cared for the animals on the farm, showing love and attention to every small detail of life. Jacob's family stood looking up at the starry night sky, feeling the vastness of the universe and their firm faith in the future. Jacob prayed alone in the quiet of the night, thanking God and the goddess for guiding his family through every challenge. Jacob's family exchanged warm hugs, expressing their love and the strong bond between them. Jacob and Rachel stood together, looking toward the horizon, knowing they had overcome challenges and were stepping into a new phase of life. Jacob's family prepared for a grand celebration, an occasion to give thanks and remember all they had been through. Jacob received blessings from the village elders, feeling happiness and peace as he saw the connection between generations. Jacob's family took part in a Thanksgiving ceremony, singing hymns and praying together for peace and prosperity. Jacob's children learned how to care for the garden, continuing what he had started, bringing life and hope. Jacob's family stood together, facing a bright future, filled with faith in God and the goddess's guidance. Jacob's family sat together, enjoying a meal in peace, realizing that happiness comes from unity. Rachel sat by the window, reflecting on what had passed, knowing they had overcome challenges through faith and love. Jacob and Rachel watched their children grow up, with pride and hope for a bright future. Jacob's family worked in the fields at dawn, starting a new day with strength and firm faith. Rachel held Jacob's hand, smiling, looking toward a future full of hope and love. Jacob's family worked together to tidy the house, not only creating a clean space, but also creating a warm home. Jacob prayed by the small altar in the house, thanking God and the goddess, asking for peace and prosperity for his family. Jacob's family hosted a festival, everyone laughing and having fun, creating unforgettable memories. Jacob sat with his children around the campfire at night, telling family stories, strengthening the family bond. Jacob's family looked up at the starry sky, feeling the vastness of the universe and the smallness of humanity before it. Jacob held Rachel's hand, walking on a new path, knowing that love and faith were the strength that helped them overcome any challenge. Jacob's family sat gathered in their cozy home, the warm golden light enveloping the space, symbolizing peace and happiness.